So, I'm not no intro for this. They shadow dropped a bunch of shit. There's a bunch of shit. I don't care. YouTube algorithm can neuter me. It's fine. Point being, they shadow dropped 3 EZAs, the next Dokkan Fest, a banner unit, and a free-to-play card, all at the same time. We have STR Super Vegito and physical Buuhan EZAs dropping tonight. We're not waiting. I literally made a video earlier today talking about how in the copy Vegeta concept, I made a comment saying I think physical Buuhan's EZA is going to be coming sooner than we think, and it's just tonight. So maybe I'm a prophet. Who cares? Anyway, I have some, like, there's rough translations out there. Alpeld here, he put some out, and then I also have rough translations of it as well. We're gonna go over as much as we can here, starting with, of course, with the Giga Chat himself, STR Super Vegito. So let's see, I think I translated first. Yeah, so this is his base form right here. 2 key, attack and defense plus 200% at the start of turn, 30% damage reduction, just for free. Whenever you collect a type key sphere, you get an additional key plus 2. He guaranteed launches an additional attack that has a very high chance of being a super attack, so I'm guessing 70% with how this is worded. He gets about I believe that's a 30% chance to crit, and then from 1 turn after appearing, or at the start of a turn with HP at 77% or more, which is almost all the time, unless you fall below that for some reason. And if you do, you can transform. Remember, that's how he works. Further increase attack and defense by 50% and get a guaranteed additional super attack. And then when HP is 50% or above during an attack, he gets another crit and damage reduction plus 20%. So that bumps him up to 50% damage reduction and about 50% chance to crit for free, while having the ability to quad super attack, which they gave his super attack effects seemingly the ability to stack defense. So he's crazy. And that's just the base form that most people are in forever. Remember that his active skills do not change, so it's still 4 turns below 77% HP, which if you've used MUI Goku recently, you know that that's really not that hard to get underneath, so it's really not that big of a deal. And then you transform, and you become Jesus Christ himself, right? So when you transform, once only, you fully restore your health. You just get all the health back. However much health you need, he gives it to you. For 3 turns after appearing, he gets guaranteed guard. Love that. He gets 5 key and 250% attack and defense at the start of turn, a 50% chance to crit. Every time you attack, you get 20% crit for the turn, which you only need to attack, 3 times, and you're at 100% chance to crit. So if you have your Vegito built full crit still, sucks. You don't need it anymore. Go ahead and spend those 5 stones, buddy. Rebuild your Vegitos. When attacked, further increase attack by 30% for the turn, which is great. He gets a baseline 30% damage reduction, and then an additional 30% damage reduction from normal attacks. That way he's going to be able to counter any single normal in the entire game completely for free. Remember that you've already been stacking defense and base, and then every single super you do is also going to be giving you defense. We'll get to that when we get there, but just remember that post-super, this guy's taking literally 0 damage from normals, and presumably not very much from most super attacks, unless it's from, like, I think maybe AGL Broly, but he stacks defense. You can just stack the entire time. You can get there until you get to AGL Broly in the boss rush. And then what? Then what? You transform into this guy. He counters, like, his 13 attacks, obliterates him in 2 seconds. Because then he basically has guaranteed crit counters now, which we love. He gets an additional key plus 2 per key sphere obtained. And then remember that he's also, for 10 turns, he has a scouter, but now he's also getting an additional 77% attack and defense for those 10 turns. So for 10 turns, he's the best unit in the entire game, which is incredibly easy to get into. Now, controversially, I think this guy might be tied for number 1 the entire game, which is kind of hilarious. Beast Gohan's ridiculous, right? I think Beast Gohan's active skill turn is going to be tankier than this guy, but, like, if you've stacked up a decent amount in the base form, what's damaging this Vegito? The hardest hitting AGL hit in the game is that AGL Broly at the end of the boss rush, but you can stack that whole time. This guy's going to have, like, well over like 2 million defense. Damage reduction, and then you don't even have to worry about getting hit by a super attack because he has a scouter. Like, what? It's just ridiculous. It's just crazy. And then his super attack effects, this is the only thing I didn't translate. This, I'll probably just use Alpals for this. What is the super attack effects? I don't think he brought them here. He did. All right, so let's just go ahead and look at this 12 key. We'll go ahead and translate real quick. There's a bunch of stuff we got to talk about. This is just disgusting. You know, sometimes we just cook, and Omatsu is cooking. Okay, so he gets 50% attack and defense on 12 key. Is it the same? Yeah, it's the same. He gets 50% on both. And there's another effect here. What is this another effect? It looks like it's still 50%, but he's doing something else on 18 key. Let's just see real quick. Come on. And he seals. I don't know how useful that is. I don't know what late game enemy seals. Well, I guess Cell Max, you can seal him. So I guess that works there. But yeah, so this guy's ridiculous. Yeah, he drops tonight, by the way. Haha, lol. Absolutely monster. And then there's Buuhan, who we cannot forget about either. He is not a slouch in any means. So Buuhan, well, this is the Buu tanks form first. At the start of turn, he immediately recovers 20% HP. Incredibly helpful. He then gets 2 key and 200% attack and defense at the start of turn, a 50% chance to guard, and 30% chance to dodge, which is like kind of whatever. But then we get to later parts of a passive, and then you'll realize that it's really not that big of a deal. Every time you gain an attribute key sphere, he gets key +2, and guaranteed launches an additional super attack for one turn after appearing or at the start of a turn with HP 90% or less. He gets an additional 50% attack and defense and guaranteed guard. So all the time, basically, if you take any hits, right? And remember, that's at the start of the turn, so it should I don't know when it's going to calculate pre or post his own heal. I'm not sure. We'll just have to wait and see. When attacked with HP 80% or less, though, he gets an additional 20% dodge and has the ability to withstand a KO attack. So if you fall under 80% HP, like during a turn by something, that next attack he takes, it's literally impossible for him to die, and then he will get 50% dodge chance after that, which is really, really helpful. And then if somehow he does manage to fall that low, at the end of the turn, if your HP is 50% or less, he will recover another 12% HP. So on a singular turn, this guy can recover 32% HP. Kind of gross. Kind of nasty. His super attack effect is pretty much the same. I believe it is just stacking attack. I believe everything now that he does is greatly, is the only difference in his super attack effect. Oh, and now he gets defense too. So yeah, so he greatly gets attack and then greatly raises defense for one turn on 12 key. And then it's the opposite on 18 key. He'll greatly stack defense and then greatly raise attack on 18 key, and then greatly stack attack and greatly raise defense on 12 key, that she's doing multiple of. So he's going to stack really, really hard, and he's going to hit really, really hard, and his defense is going to be really high. He's going to have guard. He's going to heal for 32% HP. He's going to dodge. He's going to do all this crazy shenanigans. And then we transform. Which I also have pulled up here, I believe. Yeah, it's right here. So he's still healing 20% HP at the start of turn. But then he gets, for 3 turns, a guaranteed additional super attack. He just has another one. And then he gets key +5, attack and defense 250%, guard. He just has the guard now. He gets 50% chance to dodge. He'll do a guaranteed additional super attack. So remember, for 3 turns, he has 2 guaranteed additional super attacks. Just remember that. He gets an additional 2 key for every type orb obtained. For 5 turns from first appearance, he gets an additional attack and defense 50% and nullifies the actions of the enemy attacked with the 18 key, or that turn only. I believe that is the action break mechanic that is. So he will nullify actions for 1 turn when he attacks for 5 turns, which is great. After 6 turns from appearing, he gets an attack and defense by 100%, once only. Oh no, he gets okay. That's from 6th turn. I'm looking at it here. Once you hit that 6th turn as Buuhan, it goes from getting 50% attack and defense in the action break to him getting 100% attack and defense. And then once only, he'll seal the enemy super attack of the attacked enemy for 5 turns. Again, the only one who comes to mind that can be sealed is the Selmax. And by the time this happens, you'll be able to seal Selmax. And then at the end of the turn, if HP is 50% or less, if HP is 50% or more, he will temporarily get an additional 50% attack for his next attack. And then if your HP is 50% or less, he'll recover 10% HP. Insane. Remember how he gets 2 guaranteed additional super attacks for the first few turns, by the way? Because his super attack effects, I believe they're exactly the same. So, like, from just my rough understanding of the Japanese text, they look like they're worded exactly the same, except there's another thing there. I can basically tell you what it is. He greatly raises defense, or attack and defense for 4 turns on every single super attack he does. It is the exact same. He gets that same buff on both attacks. Remember. So that is... Actually, no, it's just raises defense. Sorry, it's not greatly. It's just regular 30%. He can do 4 supers. You're going to get 4 of those stacks. And then the next turn, he's going to get another 4. And then you've already been stacking defense and attack the entire time leading up to this. So he's going to have like 3 million defense after he attacks on his second turn, while having guard and dodge and healing. Like, this is a great villain. This is like the best villain we've ever gotten in a very long time. Broly doesn't count. I'm not counting Broly. He's a superclass unit in disguise. This guy's amazing. This is an extreme class character that's gonna hard carry artificial life forms. I am a prophet. I'm telling you, drop the copy Vegeta plus this guy. We are cooking. Now, they're not the only characters that came out. I don't care about Team Bardock. Apparently, they're still trash. I can pretty much give you a quick overview. Stats at the start of turn: 50% attack on when attacking. He gets attack and defense per Team Bardock ally on the team. This is I believe, I don't know what this is. I don't care, but it's for Team Bardock, so who cares? He gives the 50% attack and defense, and then no, here's his Team Bardock support. And who cares? He's a Team Bardock-based character, and all the Team Bardock characters suck, so you're not going to even run them. And we still don't even know if they're going to be rainbowable after the EZA, so who cares? Frieza! New Dokkan Fist Frieza that drops on the 5th. Here you go. Here he is. He sucks, by the way. I'm being mean, but it's true. So, Frieza... Actually, let's talk about his leader skill first, because I feel like that's important. His leader skill is 3 ki and 170% attack, HP attack and defense for planetary destruction and space traveling warriors, and an additional 30% for inhuman deeds and terrifying conquerors. It looks like this. So, garbage is what I'm basically saying. Not good. And then he also gets, let's see, his passive skill here. Upon own appearance, if there are 2 or more allies in the space traveling warrior category, he will pop his intro, which gives him 100% attack and defense for 5 turns, and a guaranteed additional attack that has a 50% chance to be a super attack. He gets 3 ki and attack and defense 150% at the start of turn, an additional attack and defense 150% when attacking. He gets an additional 20% defense per terrifying conqueror category ally on the team, as well as 10% attack, or not attack, critical hit chance per terrifying conqueror ally. Again, that's actually a pretty solid buff. It's just that terrifying conqueror is in the mud right now and is kind of garbage. So, unlucky. After attacking 5 times in battle, he gets an additional 100% attack and then will always do an additional super attack, which is solid. And then if there is an enemy in the pure sand category, which there are some of now, he gets an additional 100% attack and 50% crit. So he basically has a 100% crit chance if you're on a full Terrifying Conqueror team, which is pretty cool, but not that needed. But if the enemy is a low-class warrior, you get a guaranteed additional super attack, which is neat. If there were low-class warrior enemies in the game, there's not. So it's worthless. But hey, it's the thought that counts. Maybe they'll add some in later. His active skill is the one thing that I'm kind of confused about because I don't know why there's so many conditions here. Can it be activated when there's an enemy in the low-class warrior category or from the third turn of battle onwards? Or can be activated when there is an enemy in the pure sand category and it has been 5 turns, I think. Or it's weird. Look at how it's written there. I figure it out or wait for the actual translations. But that's what I'm getting from this. My guess is these ors are supposed to be ands because it's like, unless they're all different conditions, because that's what it kind of looks like here, right? It's when there is a low-class warrior after 3 turns, when there is a pure sand after 5 turns, once only. So either he's like, I don't know. I don't know, but he can do his active skill with all those different conditions. And then here's a super attack effect, which I don't remember if I translated. I did. He stacks attack, 30% defense, and significantly lowers attack. Not a bad super attack effect, in all honesty. And if you have all his additional super attacks, which I believe is 5, if you're fighting a low-class warrior, I mean, we can take one of those out because you're never going to fight a low-class warrior. So he can do about 4 super attacks, each of which are going to stack his attack with his already monstrous amount of attack buffs, while having big bad bosses and stuff. He's going to be hitting pretty hard, and then he's going to get defense on each single one of those if you pop all of them being supers. So, like, post-super, he should be fine defensively, but, like, that's it. He's just, like, okay. I think Goku Black is easily better than this guy. I don't, like, his links are good. His team is bad. If villains weren't bad, I could see this guy being a lot better, but he definitely needs assistance. So, not sure how I really feel about Frieza. I'm definitely skipping him because I just don't care for first one Frieza. If you're Goresh, you're gonna love it. But if you're not, who cares, right? Then there's a banner unit, Dodoria, that we can go ahead and take a look at real quick. He's basically just like your average guarding floating support, which is nice. However, I do believe his support is actually time gated. So you won't be supporting the entire time. I believe he supports for 5 turns, which is not a very long time considering how long some of the events have been getting. So let's see. 2 key, 150% attack and defense at the start of turn. When launching a super attack, you get an additional attack and defense 100%. With each attack, he gets an additional 10% attack up to 50%, an additional crit up to 30%. For all allies, and I'm assuming that is the Terrifying Conqueror category, he gets key... So he's giving 2 key 50% attack and defense to Terrifying Conquerors for 5 turns. Wait, no. No, he does that. He just does that. This is just worded weird. Yeah, so he is supporting. He is giving 2 key 50% support to the Terrifying Conqueror team. I believe that is. Well, actually, we can just check. What team is this? It's Inhuman Deeds. Never mind. So he's an Inhuman Deeds support. My fault. For 5 turns after appearing, he gets a guaranteed an additional attack. There's a high chance to be a super attack. From 6th turn from appearing, he gets an additional attack and even 100%, and critical hit chance plus 50%. So why is this guy at 80% crit? Why is this support at 80% crit? Why do we need that? When a character with Frieza in their name, excluding Soldier, is on the team, he gets a guaranteed additional attack that has a super high chance to being a super attack. I'm guessing that's 70%. And then while participating in an attack with Frieza, he guards, I'm assuming. So while Frieza on rotation, he guards. Cool. It'd be great if he linked with Frieza, but he doesn't. What does his super attack effect do, considering he's getting all these additional supers? Or potential additional super attacks? Let's see. What? His super attack effect. %30 attack and defense, super colossal damage, high chance of stun. Not bad. Again, I think his passive is good for a floating support. He's fine. Potential to, especially if you're running Frieza's team, you're gonna have probably a Frieza on both rotations, so he's gonna be able to pop that. It's just he doesn't share any links with Frieza. You can see him down here. He shares 2 links with Frieza, so it's kind of annoying. But at the very least, he is giving 2 key 50% attack and defense. So good up. I would rather if he didn't get crit and replace that with either dodge or damage reduction, but it is what it is. If he does get a couple super attacks in with his guard, he should be fine in most circumstances. So not bad unit at all. Oh yeah, there's also this weird free-to-play unit. This thing, I don't know what the hell this thing is, but where is it? Oh yeah, here it is. Here's its stat. Here's what it does. So at the start of turn, he gets 2 ki and 240% attack and defense, which is really, really strong. He gets 50% damage reduction when attacked, which again is good. Further attack plus 240% and lowers attack and defense of all enemies by 24% for the turn if attacked 7 or more times in battle, which is weird. Because who's hitting this one slot 7 times before you attack? It's like almost never going to happen. Once only during the next turn when participating in an attack, he seals himself for some reason, and then on that turn he lowers his own damage reduction by 20%, and then if he gets hit 10 times he'll stun himself for some reason, and then if he's attacked with HP above 50% HP, he will nullify Ki Blast super attacks. I think if you easy A this guy and like take away the weird lowering of his own stats, he'll be pretty solid, but like he's just kind of weird. Anyway, that's pretty much everything coming out. All like the Frieza related stuff drops on the 5th, and then Buuhan and Super Vegito do drop at 3 a.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time, by the way, just in case you were wondering. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. I'm absolutely excited. Everyone looks crazy except for like the Bardock team. I mean, Frieza is good. It's just I don't know how good he's going to be. On paper, he seems kind of mid. But maybe in-game he'll be absolutely ridiculous, but at least his animations are pretty good, so there's that. Anyway, let me know how you guys feel about all these units in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.